Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagradagunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sarana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter number 6, and we saw in previous verses the two levels of Ashtanga Yoga. There's Yoga Aruruksha and Yoga Aruda. So Yoga Aruruksha is the beginning stage and Yoga Aruda is the advanced stage. And we saw that eight stages, that Yama, don'ts, Niyama, do's, Asana, bodily exercise, Pranayama, breathing exercise, Pratyahara is withdrawing senses from sense objects, Dharana is fixing the mind on Lord's form, Dhyan is intensified meditation, and then Samadhi is complete absorption. And then we saw how mind is both friend and an enemy. And if one is controlling his mind, then mind becomes his friend. And if one does not have any control over his mind, then mind becomes his enemy. And then we saw how the symptoms of person in the yoga aruda stage or the advanced stage, how his mind is, how he is approach the super soul, and how he is neutral to all the dualities in the life, as heat, cold, happiness, distress, and all, and how he is satisfied in knowledge and situated in transcendence. And then we saw the stages of the practice, that is yoga aruda stage, and then the basic stages of yoga aruda stage also. So sitting firmly and fixing the mind, and then we saw the goal of Ashtanga Yoga to control body and mind. And then we also saw what are the recommendations. Yukta Hara Viharasa Yukta Chisa Karma, that is not eating too much, not eating too little, not sleeping too much, not eating too less also. That is regulation in whatever we do, and also recreation. And then we saw the perfectional stage of Ashtanga Yoga, that is which involves disciplining of activities by fixing mind and devoid of material desires. And then we saw what are the realizations in last class, and what are the methods to attain this yoga stage. And now today we'll see how the mind is always flickering, and success lies in bringing the mind back. And then the Bhagavad platform of realizing Atma, and we'll see this realizing Paramatma and other things today. So let's start with verse number 26. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam astiram tatastato niyamai yatad atmani eva vasamnayet. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So, the nature of the mind is always to wander and flicker. So, suppose we are chanting now japa, we are chanting our rounds. Now it will think, oh, I have not studied, oh, I have this work pending. And when we start studying, we say, oh, the japa is not over, or I have to do this thing or this thing. And when we do some things also, then say, oh, we have not done this. So that our mind is always flickering. It will not like to do what we are doing the present moment, but will be either in the past or in the future. Past means regretting, oh, I should have done like this or that. Or future is planning, oh, tomorrow I have to go here, day after tomorrow here. So like this, the nature of the mind is always flickering and it's always unsteady. But a self-realized yogi has to control the mind. The mind should not control him. One who controls the mind and therefore the senses is called a Goswami or Swami, and one who is controlled by the mind is called Godas or the servant of senses. So people say, मैं अपनी मन की करता हूँ. I do what my mind says. So actually, they are slaves because the mind is unsteady and every second it will change. So a Goswami or a master of mind is one who can control the mind and tell that, oh, you do this. So mind is very powerful, very powerful. But if it is controlled by you, then otherwise not. So Goswami knows the standard of sense happiness. In transcendental sense happiness, the senses are engaged in service of Rishikesha or the supreme owner of the senses, Krishna. So there is no happiness in this material world, whatever you may try. Suppose somebody likes to eat rasgullas. How many can he eat? 5, 10. Afterwards, he will say that, bas ho gaya, I don't want to eat more. So, if you do more enjoyment in this material world, you will be miserable and unhappy. And this is the case with every enjoyment which we have. Whether it is eating or seeing or anything, after some time we are bored and tired. And therefore, the standard of sense happiness is when we engage our senses in service of Rishikesh or supreme owner of senses, that is Krishna. So when we are serving Krishna, then there are no limits, and there are no limits to our happiness also. And we can serve for hours and hours and still will not be tired. Physically, sometimes maybe, but emotionally, will never be tired. But if you try to serve our senses, whatever you may do will always be unsatisfied and unfulfilled, and will always think, oh, something more I should do, something more is pending, something here and there will always be there, and always there will be unsatisfaction. And therefore, this is done here, and therefore mind should always be, uh, we should bring it back. So by practicing for a long time, this can happen. It will not happen very fast or easily, but that is the goal, and that we should try. That is a way of bringing the senses in full control. What is more than that is the highest perfection of yoga practice. So this is a way how the senses can be brought under control. Otherwise, the senses, even if one sense go astray, our devotional life will be spoiled. And we also saw examples like last time also, that any sense, if you take, if any sense, like fish is caught because of tongue, elephant is caught because of touch sense, and moth goes to fire because of the eyes. So any sense, if we are not careful, can bring our devotional life to a halt, and therefore we need to be very careful of how we are engaging our senses, and similarly where our mind is. So this is very important, and therefore there is something called as mind impression. So the mind has impressions, and the impression which the mind will give is what we hear and see. So if you want to control mind, the first thing is controlling what we are hearing and what we are seeing. These two senses, what impressions we do yesterday will all come today in our Japan days life. So if we can see nice things like Krishna's photos, pictures, or deities, and hear some katha and all, then gradually what will happen, the mind surface will have this impression, and therefore our Japan chanting will be good. Otherwise, if whole day we are doing some other things, then it will be difficult, and therefore this is a formula of mind management. Now, what happens if mind is managed, and how the Atma is realized is there in verse number 27. Prashanta manasamyaenam yoginam sukam uttamam upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhutam akal masham. The yogi who is fixed, whose mind is fixed on me, verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his quantitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reaction of past deeds. So, when one's mind is steady, then only one can attain the highest perfection. Otherwise, not. If mind is not fixed, then he cannot. And we are where our mind is. If suppose we are sitting in a katha, we are hearing the class, but our mind is in USA, Ulhasnagar Sindhi Station, marketing there or shopping somewhere, then we are not in the class, we are there. And therefore, see here, he is beyond the mode of passion. So what does it mean? It is not planning for future anything. He is so if you want the mind to fix, you should be in the mode of goodness. Goodness means present. Passion or ignorance means either we are worrying about the future or we are in the past. So gradually all our activities, our eating, our sleeping, our saying, our doing things should be in the mode of goodness. And then we'll be in the present and not in the past or future. So this and he realizes quantity identity with the supreme. So he realizes what he is and what is his nature. And therefore he is freed from all relation to past myths. So Brahma Bhuta is the stage of being free from material contamination and situated in the transcendent service of the Lord. Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. One cannot remain the quality of Brahman, the Absolute, until one's mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. To be always engaged in the transcendent loving service of the Lord or to remain in Krishna conscious is to be factually liberated from the modes of passion and all material contamination. So we saw this verses just some verses back only this whole so Mana Krishna Pavinda, how each and every senses can be engaged in Krishna's service. Like eyes can see the deities of Krishna, and the hands can touch the devotees or can mop the floor or mop the deities and all. And smell, we can smell tulsi plant or any flower which is offered to Krishna. And by tongue we can taste Krishna prasadam. So like this, each and every senses can be engaged. So legs can go to Dham Yatra and all. So this way everything can be managed. So actually real freedom is to become Krishna consciousness. And if we are becoming Krishna, then we can achieve real freedom, that is freedom from all material contamination and especially from passion. Otherwise, it is not easy. So therefore, we need to be sure of our daily activities, and sometimes we need to actually uh, do evaluation of ourselves of where we are and what we are doing if we want to actually progress. So maybe every Ekadashi or every month we can take a stock of where we were in the last month and where we are now. Have we uh, increased our devotion or not? Or are we distracted, or what is the current situation, or where I need to improve in this week or this month, or like this we can plan and then grow. And now 28 verse is how to realize Paramatma. Yunjanevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmasha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham asnute. Thus, the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendent loving service to the Lord. So this way, one who is self-controlled, he engages in yoga practice, whatever yoga may be, bhakti yoga, ashtanga yoga, or whatever it may be, becomes free from all material contamination. So then one is freed from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness. So whatever happiness we have here is not perfect; it is flickering. So from some few minutes we are happy. After that, we are not so happy. But state of perfect happiness is happiness where the happiness stays continuously and you're always smiling and transcend loving service of the Lord. So self-realization means knowing one's constitutional position in relation to the Supreme. So one should know who are we. The individual soul is part and parcel of Supreme and his position is to render transcendent service to the Lord. This transcendental contact with the Supreme is called Brahma Samsparsha. So this contact where we know who are we, who is supreme, and how we can serve him. So for any practice, first we need to have Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan consists of Gyan of three things: soul, Paramatma, and material nature. That is, we, the Jiva. Paramatma means either Krishna or who are yogis, for them Paramatma. And third is Prakriti, that is material nature. So, knowing the relationship between soul and super soul, or Atma and Paramatma, then Atma, and then Paramatma and Paramatma, then Atma and material nature, and then Paramatma and material nature, and between material nature and material nature also. So, like between material nature means knowing the three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance, and what is different between all of them. Then knowing the difference between Atma and Atma means how we are connected with each other, that how Atma functions and what are the characteristics. Then between the Krishna and Krishna or Paramatma means knowing the different avatars, which avatara is best and how to serve, which mantra we should take, and all those things comes in Sambandha Gyan. And between these three also, how soul is always a servant and Krishna is the master, and how we need to get out of this Prakriti, and how Prakriti is very difficult to get out, the how we are controlled by the modes and all. So this all comes in Sambandha Gyan, and when we have this Sambandha Gyan very nicely, then we can do our Abhidaya or chanting or a hearing or whatever the Anga of devotion, which is given as per our Sampradaya or the person we follow. So it is different for different persons. Like for us in it is 16 rounds. For somebody it may be 11 rounds. The mantra may be different. Somebody may just meditate, somebody may not chant, somebody may chant in the mind, and there are so many different variations and all. So then the Abhidaya is done properly, and then one gets his desired goal. So this way these things happen. So this is how one comes to Brahma Bhuta stage, and then Brahma Samsasha stage or Paramatma stage. And then in verse number 29 and 30, the vision of a perfect yogi, or how to see Paramatma or Krishna everywhere, is given. So this is the highest stage where a person sees Krishna in each and every living entity, and he addresses the person in relation with Krishna. So now we may have one relationship with everybody, somebody is our brother, sister, and all, but that relationship is on material platform. But the real relationship is on the spiritual platform when Krishna is the center. And when Krishna is the center, we relate to other person as son or daughter of Krishna. And in this way, we form a relationship. So for that, we need to see how Krishna is situated in every person, every living entity, and everywhere. So let's see how it is done. So verse number 29 and then 30. सर्वभूतेषु आत्मनां सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि इक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. So, when we see that our Supreme Lord or our Krishna is there in every living entity, then we'll never think of harming anybody. We'll not think of destroying anybody. We'll just think of others' welfare, because we are seeing that that person is also son of Supreme Personality Godhead like me, and he is also suffering this material world. So let me help him. So I will give just one or two examples of what does it mean to see. So once His Holiness Radha Maharaj was brushing a cow, and while brushing the cow, somehow the cow was somehow had some problem, and she hit back Maharaj with his horns. But Maharaj had very good reflex action, and therefore he just went back within just few seconds. And the first statement he said, not that this cow is very bad, or just beat him, or just do something, or tie him something. No, he said, just check, is the cow has some fever or some stomach upset or what problem she is facing. Because of this problem, she's reacting this way. So when we see every person as a part and parcel of Krishna, then we don't see the problem. We see the what is the root cause of problem and solve the problem, so that one then one does any act according to the natural position of being a servant. So if we see somebody speaking harsh, then what we see is not that this person is speaking harsh. We see that the person is being materially contaminated either by passion or ignorance, or because of that, the person is speaking harsh to us. And the originally the person is very pure. The like once class is when Anand Maharaj was saying, Jagai and Madai are two very pure souls. Somehow, because of material contamination, they got contaminated and they came here. So for them also, he's seeing that they are pure souls, pure souls. And similarly, we can also see that every soul is actually pure. But because of this material contamination, what is happening is he's acting like this with me. He's speaking harshly with me. But actually, his innate nature is not speaking harshly. Innate nature is not to hurt anybody. But because of having these modes, this material nature, the sattva gun, rajogun, tamagun, in which the person is entrapped, the person is prisoned, and that is the reason that person is very acting very harshly with me. So this vision comes when we see that every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna, and therefore gradually, maybe not we not have this vision now, but gradually we should go in developing this vision, and therefore we should remember what Shastras say, and we should have the vision of Shastra and not our mundane vision. Otherwise, we'll offend and will not progress in our devotional life. So purport. A Krishna conscious yogi is the perfect seer because this is Krishna, the supreme, situated in everyone's heart as super soul Paramatma. So for devotees of Krishna, they will see Krishna as everybody's heart. For Ashtanga yogis and others, they will see Paramatma. So depending on what one practices, one will see. But at least one will see that God is there in everybody's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridayashe arjun tishtati. The Lord is in his Paramatma feature, is situated in the heart of a dog and that of a Brahman also. So this is the thing. So there was one more story. Once one saint wanted to save a bichu or scorpion, and he tried to bring up, but what did scorpion do? Bite him. So again and again, when the scorpion will bite, he would just the scorpion would fell from his hand because his hand will shake. But again he would try to bring up. So another person asked him that why are you doing this? Why are you again and again trying to save him? So he said that the scorpion does not leave his nature. How can I leave my nature? So our eternal nature is to be peaceful, to be merciful, to know that the soul is there in everybody's heart, is also a part and parcel of super soul, that is Krishna is there. So therefore the perfect yogi knows that Lord is eternally transcendent and not materially affected by his presence in either dog or Brahmana. So everybody, either dog is there, Brahmana is there, and Paramatma is there. And that doesn't mean that Krishna is contaminated by that person because of that. No, he's a seer and always remain the same. So that is the supreme neutrality of Lord. So Lord will not act until we desire. He will remain neutral. He will just be a seer. Till the time we say that Krishna, please guide me, till that time he will not guide us for spiritual reasons. He will definitely guide us for getting food, shelter, and all these things. But for spiritual reasons, he will not guide us. He will remain a seer only. That's all. The individual soul is also situated in the individual heart, but he is not present in all hearts. So there is a difference between the soul and super soul, the individual Atma and Krishna. So individual Atma is there only in one body, but Krishna is there in each and every body. And the soul can never become the proprietor of material nature, but Krishna is always the proprietor of material nature. So even if one gets liberated, one becomes a pure devotee, still he will never become the owner, or he will never have control over the material nature. Never. He will not be affected by it, but he will never be owner. So Krishna is always owner, and therefore the jiva can never become Krishna or never become Lord or Paramatma. And whoever says this is not actually adhering to the Shastra. The individual soul is also situated in the individual heart, but the person is not in all hearts. That is the distinction between individual soul and super soul. One who is not factually in the practice of yoga cannot see so clearly. So if people are saying this, that means they are saying in ignorance. They have not read the scriptures, they have not practiced anything. A Krishna conscious person can see Krishna in the heart of both the believer and the non-believer. So even if one is Nastic or one is Astic, Krishna provides for everybody. He doesn't see that this person is Nastic, I should not give. No. He gives everybody free will and freedom to choose whatever the person wants. And therefore, Krishna is called supreme benevolent. See, in this world, if somebody is antagonistic, suppose we are working, we are the owner, and we have two employees. One employee is always listening to us, and another employee is never ever listening to us. What will you do? We'll keep the employees listening to us, and the person who is not listening to us will just kick him out some way or other. We either will give very less salary, that person will leave himself, or will remove him. But see how Krishna is so benevolent that so many people are talking against him, left, right, and center. So many are printing books and doing so many things. Still, Krishna never ever takes any action against them. And if something happens to them, it is all because of their own karma. And therefore, he's there in the heart of believer also and non-believer also. So this confirm as follows in that the Lord is being the source of all beings is like the mother and the maintainer. As the mother is neutral to all different kinds of children, the supreme father or mother is also. Consequently, the super soul is always in every living being. So very good example is given here. So if you see the father and mother, for father, there may be some difference with the child. So father, what will do? He will challenge to one child, he will not other. So seeing the person's talent and caliber, he'll try to bring up. For mother, everything is same. Even the child is not any doing mischief, he'll say he is my child. Even the child is bad or anything, he'll say my child. So like mother does not discriminate, Krishna does not discriminate, and he is the supreme mother for all living entity. Outwardly also, every living being is situated in the energy of the Lord, as will be explained in the 7th chapter of the Lord, has two energies, the spiritual or superior and the material or inferior. The living entity, although part of the superior energy, is conditioned by the inferior energy. The living entity is always in the Lord's energy. Every living entity is situated in him in one way or other. So here also, example in 7th chapter also it will come that Krishna has two energy. One is superior, that is internal energy, and one is exterior, that is material energy. So actually, the living entity is tatastha or in between, and he has nature of the spiritual energy, but the spark or the energy is so low or so less that he can be anytime be attracted to material energy also. So because of his tatastha nature or his nature of being in the middle. So I will give an example. See, like a child. So child can either be taught bad things also, can be taught good thing also. So child is neutral, but the training what the child receives will define his future. Similarly, the soul can either connect with Lord and go to spiritual world, or the soul can connect with the material energy and come to this material world. Both is possible because by nature, soul is very tiny. It doesn't have such Ladini Shakti or the energy from Srimati Radharani. So after when the sadhana and everything, what happens? The soul is still Tatastha energy, but then he receives the energy from the Ladini or the Shakti from Srimati Radharani. And then what happens is, even if he wants to come back to his material, he will not come. Why? Because of the covering or the energy received from Srimati Radharani, that he will stay there. Like suppose somebody in our family wants to leave family and wants to go out. And he says, I will go out. But then what happens? The mother and father give him so much love and care that the person says, no, I will not go now. Whatever it is, how can I leave my mother and father? Similarly, the soul in the spiritual world can come back to material or can go. There is a possibility, but he will not go. Why? He will say, "Oh, such care and love I am getting from Srimati Radhani, all the sakhis and everything. Why will I leave? I will stay here only." So this is how it happens. So uh, outwardly also editing the living entity also part of spirit is conditional different. This we saw, and every living entity is situated in him in one way or other. The yogi sees equally because he sees that all living entities, although in different situations according to the results of fruitive work, in all circumstances remain the servants of Lord. So one thing will never change, that will all be servants of Lord. Whatever condition we are, whether we become gurus, we become big person, industrialist, or we have so many people, or whatever it may be, we have good positions, whatever it may be, we may be higher, or we may be simple chanting our rounds, we are just simple sadhaka, we have nothing. Still, will always remain servants of Lord. That once in nation, like we are so many saints, we ask that what do you want? They will say, even Padat Maharaj will said that I want to become servant or the servant of servant, and that is my only game. So in all circumstances, we are servants of God. While in the material energy, the living entity serves the material senses, and while in the spiritual energy, he serves the Supreme Lord directly. So in this world, nobody can refrain from serving. Like somebody say, I will not serve anybody. Then he will serve cats, dogs, anybody. Some living entity he will definitely serve. Or sometimes he will put some grains for kabutar, the sparrows and all. So this thing will definitely be there. So one can never stop serving. But whom we are serving defines our destination. So if we are serving somebody and we are attached to that, then next life either we can become dog or hawk if we are serving them and we are attached to dog and hawk. Or if we are serving to Krishna, then we'll go to Krishna Lok. So this is what happens. In either case, the living entity is servant of Lord. This vision of equality is perfect in a person in Krishna consciousness. This vision of equality. So equality not in the material sense, but in the spiritual sense. In material sense, men will be men and women will be women, and they are made in a way that women will always be subservient to men. See, somebody may like or not like, but this is the case that women are subservient. How? See, somebody may go into relationship and anything, and they may say that we are liberal and everything, but ultimately the woman has to bear a child, and she has to take care of everything and all things. And thinking pattern also, if we see, men are more rational and women are more emotional. So these things, it's like it is there in the body itself. You cannot remove it and change it. And therefore, artificially, if one does also now, long run doesn't work much. And there may be some exceptions, but this is a general case and scenario. So we should understand. And if we see in the spiritual sense, then everybody is Prakriti or everybody is Sri, and only Krishna is the Purusha. So everybody is servant of Krishna. So in that sense, whether a man or woman, everybody is servant of Lord, and that is our eternal position. So 30 also speaks about the same, how to see Lord everywhere. Yo mam pashyanti sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So when we see Krishna everywhere and see everything in Krishna, then for that person or for us, Krishna will never lost, and will also be never lost to Krishna. Purport: a person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere. And he sees everything in Krishna. That means we see that mm, Krishna is everywhere. He's there in every atom. He's there in the ant also. He's there in the elephant also. And similarly, every living entity has come from Krishna. That is his part and parcel of Krishna. So that is the vision. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of material nature, but in each and every instance is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. So he knows whatever has come in this material world is an energy of Krishna. So therefore, uh, he knows that who is to be pleased and what is to be done. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. That is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. So nothing in this world can exist without Krishna. Nothing. So even we have come in this material world, if Krishna does not supply us water, air, sunlight, the food grains, then we cannot exist. So he does not do directly, but he does through his energies, like the sun god, the moon god, the water, or the anybody like Indra, Deva, anybody. So, but arrangement is done by him, and he's such a perfect arranger that he does it for every day and years to years come. So if somebody is running any company, he can know that every day there are challenges. Some person will be sick, some person doesn't come, and one has to work with that circumstance only. And sometimes the work will be good, sometimes bad. But if you see Krishna's man, every day sun comes. Every day, every month and every time the seasons change according to the place and everything. So therefore, he is a perfect manager, and we should know that everything comes from him. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and he is Lord of everything. So this is a basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Till the time we are not convinced of this, see, we may theoretically speak, but if we are not convinced, we cannot grow in your Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is the development of the love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. At this stage of Krishna consciousness, beyond self-realization, the devotee becomes one with Krishna, in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. And intimate relationship between Lord and devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated, nor is the personality of God ever out of sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna in spiritual annihilation is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risks. So again, Prabhupada is saying that we should not think of merging with Krishna, but serving Krishna. And when we develop a relationship with Krishna, then this thing doesn't matter. Like husband and wife. When wife develops a good relation with husband, she doesn't matter to serve husband. And similarly, husband also doesn't matter to serve her wife. And if both serve each other, then a good family rises. So similarly, if we have very good relation with Krishna, then we'll never hesitate to serve Krishna. Why people are not serving Krishna is because they don't have knowledge of Krishna, and they have not yet developed a relationship with Krishna. Once they have knowledge and they develop a relation with Krishna, no person in this world will be ever unhappy or ever hesitate to serve Krishna. He will definitely like to serve Krishna, and with all the means he will serve Krishna. So this we should understand, and therefore the main thing we should do is give knowledge to others, and gradually when one person gets knowledge, automatically one person will like other person. Like in this world also, how one is attracted to one personality, anybody, maybe male, female, by hearing the qualities of that person, that this person does this, gives very nice class, very practical class, or is a practices very nicely, is a sadhana, his bhajan is very good. Like this, when we hear the qualities, we are attracted. Similarly, when we hear the qualities of Krishna, why will one not be attracted? Definitely one be attracted. So therefore, if we see somebody is not a devotee, that means the hearing is not being done. So therefore, gradually the hearing needs to be done. So when hearing is done, then Kirtana will start. So Brahma Samhita says, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaramachintya Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamamachami. I worship the premier Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. is seen in this external form as Shyam Sundara, situated within the heart of the devotee. So, Govinda Adi Purushanda, Tamam Bhajami. So I worship Govinda, who is the Adi Purusha, the original Lord, and who is always seen by devotees whose eyes are anointed by the pulp of love. So one can see Krishna if one has love for him. If one doesn't have love, one will not be able to see Krishna. And he is seen in the external form as Shama Sundara. So he's Shama, black, but at the same time he's also Sundara. In this material, whatever is black, we consider that it is not Sundar. We always go for people who are a bit, whose skin is not black, or people or person, anything which is not black. But here, Shama is a Sundar also, and therefore uh, we worship him. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. So this happens at this stage, and therefore, if it's not happening with us, then we should gradually increase our devotion to come to this stage. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. Such is the separation that one thinks, how can I live without seeing Krishna? How can I live? I have not still given my life. Oh, I am not a devotee still. This is the way a devotee thinks when he has real love. He cannot stay. Every second will faint, and every second he will think that, oh, when will I get Krishna? When will I get Krishna? When will I get Krishna? And like this, he cries and dances everything. And material world is oblivious to him or her. So this stage we should reach at some point in our life, that everything in our life is temporary. Only Krishna is permanent, and we want only Krishna. We don't want anything in our life. We want only Krishna. Of course, not Krishna alone, but with Srimati Radharani and all the other things also. So in water rasa we want to be in. So that is our goal. And now in verse 31 and 32, it says that when one relationship is developed with Krishna and one sees that every living age is part of person, what happens is one worships Krishna and then sees every living entity equally. So let's see verse number 31 and then 32. Sarvabhute sthitam yo mam bhajati ekatvam asthitam sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the super soul, knowing that I and the super soul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances. So, who engages in worshipful service of and knowing me that I and super soul, means Krishna and super soul are one. For devotees, Krishna acts as super soul, and therefore, see what is the difference between Krishna and super soul? See, super soul does not take active role. He is Upadakshanta and Anumanta. He will just see, oh, he is doing it, okay, that's doing. And then if we have that karma, he will sanction, okay, he has a karma, let him do this. Okay, sanctioning. So he's just sanctioning authority and seeing authority. But when Krishna comes as Paramatma, he becomes personal. Oh, he is doing wrong. I should do something so that he comes on a real path. Oh, he's coming to me. Let me do something so he may come faster to me. So like this, Krishna is active, whereas Paramatma is passive. So this is a basic difference. Otherwise, both are one and same in as they don't have much difference. So here, if you see, one always remains in me, remains always in me in all some. So whatever may be. So we see that gopis fight with Krishna. So in fighting also they remember Krishna, and we see Uddhav one came and told that you please remember Krishna. Yes, by remembering Krishna, he'll come to you near to you, or you will be always in trance. The gopis were saying that this is not our problem. Our problem is we are not able to forget Krishna. That is our problem. We are trying to forget him for so long, but we are not won't be able to forget Krishna. So that is our whole problem. So, and Uddhav was amazed that what is this consciousness? So, always seeing that and then always remaining in mindfulness. So, purport, a yogi who is practicing meditation of super soul sees within himself the plenary portion of Krishna as Vishnu, with four hands holding conch shell, veil, club, and a lotus flower. So, he sees super soul within himself, and the yogi should know that Vishnu is not different from Krishna. Krishna in his form of super soul is situated in everyone's heart. Furthermore, there is no difference between the innumerable super souls present in innumerable hearts of living entities. So we all know that super soul is there in every living entity. So we should not consider this super soul different from that super. No, super is same. He is expanded in all the living entities. Nor is there a difference between the Krishna conscious person always engaged in transcendent loving service of the Krishna and a perfect yogi engaged in meditation of the super soul. So there is no difference in a sense that both are worshipping Krishna, but in a different form. Definitely, there is a difference in destination. So the yogi may merge into Brahman, and the devotee will go to Golok Vrindavan Dham or Vaikuntha planets or whatever in a rasa with there. So in that way, there is difference. But if we see both are trying to achieve a higher goal, and that is being liberated from this material world. The yogi in Krishna consciousness, even though he may be engaged uh, in various activities while material existence, or remains always situated in Krishna. So whatever engagement may be, our consciousness should be rooted in Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhakti Samit Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami. Nikalasva api avasasu jivan mukta se uchate. A devotee of the Lord always acting Krishna consciousness is automatically liberated. So a devotee is always liberated, even this material condition also. If one is a devotee of Krishna, he is liberated. He does not need to do anything more. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is confirmed this way. Dikkaladi anavachinine Krishna cheto vidhaya cha tanmayo bhavati shipram jivo brahmani yojayet. By concentrating one's attention on the transcendental form of Krishna, who is always is all pervading and beyond time and space, one becomes absorbed in thinking of Krishna and then attains the happy state of transcendental with him. So see, concentrate one's attention on transcendental form of Krishna. So one need to meditate on Krishna, who is all pervading within time, beyond time and space. So one becomes absorbed in thinking of Krishna and thus remains. So see, what is our next life? So many people ask that what I will become in next life, what birth I will get. Very simple. What are you absorbed in? If you are absorbed in serving dogs, cats, so next life you can become dog, cat. But if you are serving dogs and cat, that this dog and cat is a part and parcel of Krishna, and I need to serve him because I want to please Krishna, then this is a whole different matter. So there's a huge difference in both of this. So we need to know the distances. Everybody will have to do something or the other. But are we doing in conscience that each and every person is part and parcel of Krishna? Suppose I'm serving some person by giving a class. So how should I should do is, I should say this person is part and parcel of Krishna, and my job is again to remind him that he's part and parcel of Krishna, and again he may join this relationship back and can go back to it. Similarly, any person who is doing any work, whatever it may be, his job is to see that how can I rejoin the person back to Krishna, or how can I see that this person is part and parcel of Krishna and I should not do anything wrong. Like suppose there's a boy in a college and he wants to do some mischief with another boy. The first thing he will see is whose son is this boy. If the son with whom he wants to do mischief is a son of some minister or some big person, he will not try to do anything wrong. Why? He knows that if I do something wrong, some big punishment will come to me. Similarly, when we do any transaction with other persons, we know that every person is part and parcel of Krishna. We know, oh, he's the son of such a rich person. He's son of Lord. How can I do something wrong with him? I can only do something which will help him. I cannot do something which is wrong. And therefore, with such conscience, if we deal with every person, why will not we make friends with each and every person? And why will not we go back to God? So Krishna consciousness does not mean that we are knowledgeable. That means that knowledge is put into action and we develop such qualities, such qualities. And if we have such qualities, we will definitely go back to God. And therefore, if we see in Bhagavad Gita, a lot of times given that you should practice, you should inculcate such qualities that, and here, this main thing here, which is there is to see that each and every person is part and parcel of Krishna. So the Vedas, Gopal Tapnishan Upanishad confirm this inconceivable portion of the Lord as follows. Eko pisan bahudha yogi bhati. Although the Lord is one, he is present in innumerable hearts as many. So the Smriti Shastra said, Eka eva paro Vishnu sarvavyapi na samshaya aishwaryat rupamekam cha suryavat bahudete. Vishnu is one, and yet is certainly all pervading. By his inconceivable potency, in spite of his one form, he is present everywhere as the sun appears in many places at once. So Vishnu is one, but still is all pervading. And some material example is given here that see the sun. So sun is at one place but it appears everywhere. So any material energy is given to make us understand one aspect. It should not be stretched. Like, oh, night there is no sun. So then what happens? We should not extend, but the principle is given that when the sun is there in the morning or in the daytime, what happens is it is present everywhere and it gives light to every person. So it's one, but still it's all pervading. Similarly, Vishnu is one, but it can pervade within all living entities as Paramatma. So then 32, again, how to see all equally. Atmopamyena sarvatra samam pashyanti yo arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo matam. Is perfect yogi who by comparison to his own self sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna. So he compares others and then he sees true equality, that is either in happiness or in distress. How are all beings equal? So this is how he sees. Purport, one who is in Krishna consciousness, perfect yogi, is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. The cause of distress of living entity is forgetfulness of relation with God, and the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be supreme and enjoyer of all living, of all the activities of the human being. So he knows why everybody is unhappy or happy. So externally, there may be so many reasons that one does not have this, one does not have food, one does not have shelter, or one is seeking this. These are all external reasons. See, we have seen people who have nothing. They wear total clothes, and sometimes they got food, sometimes they eat, but still they are happy. And we have seen people have everything. Everything is there on their platter. If they give one command, 10 servants will come, but still they are unhappy. So happiness and unhappiness doesn't come with one's position or status. It comes with one relationship with Krishna. If one is related with Krishna, he will be happy in all the circumstances. And if one is not related with Krishna, he will be unhappy in whatever circumstances one be put in. So external change may act temporarily. Sometimes some may think that, oh, I'm happy because I now have big bungalow or something. It's very temporary and flickering. Within few days, seconds, you will think, oh, this problem. Again, problem will start. And therefore, when one establishes one relationship with Krishna, that is the time one starts becoming happy. And in Kali Yuga, it's very easy by chanting the holy name. And then by that, what happens is the Krishna gets happy that we are started chanting, and then he will arrange one guru, we take diksha, and this way our bhajan becomes more strong, and this way we grow further. So, and the cause of happiness knowing the Krishna supreme enjoy of all activities of human being, proprietor of all lands and plants, and sincerest friend of all living days. So this is verse point 5.29. So if you see Prabhupada in most of purports, what he will do, he will write the translation of a verse. So this is the 5.29 verse, the peace formula verse. Similarly, he writes translation from many verses in a purport. The perfect yogi knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subject to threefold material miseries due to his forgetfulness of relation with Krishna. So we are conditioned with the modes, and we are subject to threefold material miseries: Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Adhyatmik. Miseries caused by one's own body, miseries caused by others, and miseries caused by Devi Devatas or the climate, sometimes very hot, very cold. So this we have to suffer in this material world. And because one is on his Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna consciousness everywhere. So because we are happy, we try to distribute everywhere so others become also happy. Since the perfect yogi tries to broadcast the importance of being Krishna conscious, he is the best philanthropist in the world, and he is the dearest servitor of the Lord. So such person is the best because in Krishna consciousness wants to distribute Krishna consciousness, so he's distributing the best thing. So philanthropy means giving charity. He's giving charity of Krishna consciousness to others, and that is the best charity. And in this way he becomes also dear to Krishna. And it is written 18.69. Nacha tasman manusheshu kashin me priya krittama. In other words, a devotee of the Lord always looks to the welfare of all living entities. In this way, he is actually the friend of everyone. He is the best of yogi because he does not desire perfection yoga for his personal benefit, but tries for others also. He does not envy his fellow living entities. Here is a contrast between a pure devotee of the Lord and a yogi interested only in personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as a devotee who is trying his best to turn to every and towards Krishna consciousness. So this is the difference is given. So best yogi is one who desires perfection yoga, uh, and the person who preaches this message to everybody is most dear to Krishna also. So and see the symptom of who can help other people is he does not have envy. He does not have envy, is follow living entities. So one who is compassionate can preach. One who has envy cannot. And therefore, the condition of understanding Bhagavad Gita is given that one should be non-envious. Then only one can understand Gita. Or to a degree one is non-envious, one can understand Gita. So suppose one is 20% envious, so he can understand only 80% Gita. So like this, the more we become non-envious, the more the knowledge will come to us. So that is the thing. So there's also difference given between the person. So we should not try that we'll go to secular praise and do and all. Not possible. So better we should strive where we are and gradually grow in our devotional service. Now 33 year verse 1334. Arjuna is asking very relevant question. He says that you are telling me to control my mind. But I think it's not easy for me. Now, mind you that Arjuna was not a simple person. He could control the wind. That was his power. But still he's saying, I'm unable to control the mind. So let's see what Arjuna says in verse number 33. Arjuna vacha yoyam yogastvaya prokta samyena madhusudana itihas itis yaham na pashyanti itisana pashyan chanchalatvat sitam. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and undurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. So Arjuna is very frankly asking on behalf of us. See, actually, Arjuna's mind is very, very sharp and very focus on Krishna. And that is why Krishna is giving this knowledge to him. But here, on behalf of, he's saying that the system of yoga which you are summarized appears impractical and undurable. So it's very impractical. Ashtanga yoga is not practical for today's age. We cannot practice it actually, and therefore it is given as impractical and undurable and durable. It can be endured also, and therefore mind is how restless and unsteady. Mind is always restless and is always unsteady. This is what the principle of mind is. Purport: the system of mystics is described by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, beginning with the word Suchaudesha and ending with Yogi Parama, is here being rejected by Arjuna out of a feeling of instability. So inability. It is not possible for an ordinary man to leave home and go to a separate place in the mountains or jungles or to practice yoga in the age of Kali. So very impractical, because not many jungles are also left, and if one wants to go to jungle also, one will be fearful of animals and so many things. Even if some mosquitoes bite in our house, we are so angry. So what to speak of jungle where you have such type of variety, and when you not get food on time, and we are addicted to so many things, not possible. So very few or very rare souls will go to jungle and do this. The present age is characterized by bitter struggle for life for short duration. So now we are struggling even with our health, with so many things, and we are very less duration. So very difficult to go and do. People are not serious about self-relation even by simple practical means, and what to speak of this difficult yoga system. So even if you use some simple means to become self-realized, but still it is not simple, and therefore what to speak of this yoga system, which regulates the mode of living, the manner of sitting, place of selection of place, and detachment of mind from material engagements. See what need to be done. Mode of living, so that is going to jungle and staying, and how to sit, what to eat, what place to, and detachment of mind from material engagements. So nothing material, no earning, nothing, no family, nothing. So this is what is the practice of yoga. So this is very not practical. We have a family life, we have responsibility. We cannot just give up and go. So as a practical man, Arjuna thought it was impossible to follow the system of yoga, even though he was favorably endowed in many ways. So Arjuna could actually do, but he said, I cannot. Because he's representing a Grahastha family or a person who is married and has so many responsibilities, kingdom and everything. So he's saying it's not possible for me. He belonged to a royal family and was highly elevated in terms of numeral qualities. He was a great warrior. He had great longevity. And above all, he was the most intimate friend of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna had so many qualities, and at last he was also friend of Krishna. 5,000 years ago, Arjuna had much better facilities than we do now, yet he refused to accept the system of yoga. So 5,000 years ago, there were no billboard, advertisement, and so many things which are there today. So had very much better facilities for a system, because people were generally more inclined to God and everything, and it was not so difficult as of today's age. So still he's saying that it's difficult. So in fact, we do not find any record in the history of his practicing at any time. So never practice. Therefore, this system must be considered generally impossible in the age of Kali. Of course, it may be possible for some very few rare men. Some may still practice, very rare few, but majority will not be able to. But for people in general, it is impossible proposal. If this were so 5,000 years ago, then what of the present day? Those who are imitating this yoga system in so different so-called schools and societies, although complacent, are certainly wasting their time. They are completely in ignorance of the desired goal. So people who are practicing actually do not know what they are doing, and they actually are practicing without a goal, or will not achieve the desired goal. So again, verse number 30 is say, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balabadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayureva saduskaram. Now he is giving qualities of the mind. How is mind? So different adjectives are given to the mind.
First is chanchalam, that's flickering. For the mind is restless. It's all restless. Then turbulent. It's so turbulent. It will do like this and obstinate and very strong. Very obstinate. I want to do this only, nothing. And very strong also. It has very great power. Oh Krishna, to subdue it, I think is more difficult than controlling the wind. So we cannot even control the wind. But Arjuna is saying it is easy to control the wind, but not the mind. So you may think how powerful Arjuna was, and still he is saying that we cannot control mind. But definitely, we will never be able to do this. The mind is so strong and obstinate that it sometimes overcomes the intelligence, although the mind is supposed to be subservient to the intelligence. So the mind is so strong that sometimes it does the opposite thing. For a man in the practical world who has to fight so many opposing elements, it's certainly very difficult to control the mind. Artificially, one may establish a mental equilibrium towards both friend and enemy, but ultimately no worldly man can do so, for this is more difficult than controlling the raging mind. In the Vedic literature, see, the functions of mind are thinking, feeling, and willing. So thinking that is my friend, enemy, or feeling that way, or willing is all that we have not yet conquered the mind. So if a thinking, feeling, and willing are all positive, that means we have conquered the mind and we always think about Krishna. So Upanishad says, Atmanam ratinam viddhi shariram ratam evacha buddhim tu sarathim viddhi mana pragaram evacha indriyani hayan ahur Vishyam teshu gocharan atmindriya mano yuktam bhokteti ahur manishina. The individual is the passenger in the car of the material body, and intelligence is the driver. So the example is given of a car. So individual is the passenger and the intelligence is the driver. Mind is the driving instrument and the senses are the horses. The self is thus the enjoyer or sufferer in the association of mind and senses. So very good analogy is given. So he's sitting back and he enjoys or suffers because of association with mind and senses. So it is understood by great thinkers, intelligence is supposed to direct the mind. So intelligence is the driver, tell the where to go, But the mind is so strong and abstinent that it often overcomes one's own intelligence. But what does the mind do? It's a driving instrument. It will take him here and there, and it will not help him to go to the right destination. So intent is supposed to direct mind, but so strong that it overcomes even the mind, supposed to control by practice of yoga. But such practice is never practical for the worldly person like Arjuna. And what can we say of modern men? So if Arjuna cannot practice, what to speak of today's modern men? How can we practice? Not possible. The simile used here is appropriate. One cannot capture the blowing wind. So very good simile is used, and we know that one cannot capture the blowing wind also. So what to tell? And it is even more difficult to capture the turbulent wind. The easiest way to control the mind, especially by Lord Chaitanya, is chanting Hare Krishna, the great mantra for deliverance in all humility. So, in humble sense, if you chant the Hare Krishna mantra, then we can control the mind. The method prescribed is Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindu. One must engage one's mind fully in Krishna. Only then will there remain no other engagements to agitate the mind. So, if we are not engaged in Krishna consciousness, our mind will take us away to different things. And therefore, we should try that how I can be Krishna every day, every moment, and try to invent some things or take some services or something which can help us. So now, Krishna will give us an solution to the problem which Arjuna is giving. And that solution which Krishna is going to give us, we'll see in the next class, so that suspense remains and we work on our mind this week and that we get solution to work on next week. So thank you very much.